Hey guys, Joe here. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to lead us through an intro to Tai Chi. Just like I would when I lead through any of the group classes, I'm going to lead us through a brief warm up to set some foundational exercises to develop balance and flexibility. Also, we'll follow with a silk pulling exercise, the 5 little kicks, and then we'll end up lead us through the simplified Tai Chi set a couple of times. The full video session is available on Patreon, so don't forget to tune in, sign up, and subscribe. All right, let's find our spot. Here we are. The first thing that we want to do is establish our centered state. Focus on our breathing in and out through the nose. Pump the belly with the breath as we breathe in, expand, and fill up. The name for this state, the singular term, is Wu Chi, but I usually just call it our centered state. We want to lift up from above the crown of the head, a few inches above the crown of the head, as we would if we were being pulled up from above. Keep it up and find the top of the head. From the top down, do what we can to let the muscles hang through the face, eyelids, let them rest. Half closed, fully closed is okay. Keep our breathing focused in and out through the nose and pumping the belly. Let the tongue rest to the roof of the mouth as close as we can without touching is ideal. In the meridian line school of thought, we lift up the back, around the top and down the front, bridging the gap connecting the front and back halves through this tongue placement. It also helps us to control our breathing in and out through the nose. We can roll around through the neck some as we work loosening the muscles down from there. Feel the bones moving around. Try to get our mind deep into the body and separate the layers, the muscles, the connective tissues, and the bones. Try to move around just from the bones right now. Down the neck, let the muscles, connective tissues hang out. Each bone on the way through, create a bit of movement through a comfortable range of motion and settle on back down into that position where that part of the body feels the heaviest. We can continue on down the arms, the shoulders, through the hands, the fingertips. Visualize that the hands are filling up with that heavy quality to the tips of the fingers and then overflowing from inside of the body to outside of the body through the fingertips. Level off from the hips. Become even with our weight distribution over the legs. Remain springy down the knees on the way down into the feet. We'll glide forwards on the ankles at the end of the movement to find that position of sinking into the ground beneath the feet. Take a second to let it settle in. Hey, don't mind me, I'm going to try to catch a shadier spot to stand in over here. All right, so we got our centered state. Let the arms become our focus, that heaviness in the arms, level off from the hips, and we'll swing them around, knocking the gate. And I've got this one in the 5-minute daily playlist. For reference to practice on its own in between. We want to swing all the way around, let the hips stay stable. Drive the movement from the shoulder blades as best as we can. Let the arms go along for the ride. Aim for this spot on the lower back between the hips, a few inches below the belly button, and tap it, the hand, wrist, arm, whatever it may be. And you know, you can aim at the kidneys or any other spot on your back. You know, if you got any trouble areas that need some attention, for sure you can find them and give them a little bit of input. Here, continue swing behind the back and then bring our hand in front to tap on the front of the shoulder. And then up over the shoulder. Just at a nice easy pace. All right, let them go. Bring our arms up here, embrace the tree. Stay full in the limbs, and we'll turn side to side. Again, driving from the hips. Aim to feel that springy tautness from the shoulder across to the opposite hip. Such a nice day out here. If you get the opportunity, step outside, catch some fresh air. And enjoy nature. Here, the next time we're in the middle, let's hang down, stretch out down the neck, down the back. Let the arms hang. We can move around through each piece on the way through the neck, find the bones, the ribs, the lower back, all the way down into the tailbone and hips. We can experiment with our range of motion from there, from this position. As well as we can apply visualization with our breath, releasing any negativity with the exhale out. Any aches and pains, soreness, injuries we're recovering from, illness, the non-physical as well, any stress and tension, any negative thoughts and feelings, or any negative habits we may be in possession of, we can let them out with the breath, release it from the mind and body, and draw in again something healthier, more positive, with our breath back in, fill ourselves up. Unfold on up from here. Stay full in the arms so we can roll up the spine behind the ribs. And lift again, shoulder blades, base of the skull, crown of the head at the end. One more time, right down the middle. Hang out down the neck, down the back. Find the tailbone, hips. And use visualization with our breath. All right, unfold on up from here. Stay full. Lift again the shoulder blades, the base of the skull, crown of the head at the very end. Let them drop. All right, we'll focus on just the hips next. Here, let me step up a little closer so as we can have a better look at what we're working with here. Where's my spot? All right, here it is. So bring the feet a little more than shoulder widths apart. Focus on just the hips from the hip socket down to the top of the knee. Find the ball joint, roll around, and we want to draw in the inside of the hip without shifting over here as best as we can. Create this folding inside. We refer to that as closing of the hip. Open back up. Find the other side. Close into the hip. Stay flush over here as we can. And create this fold-in on the inside. As deep and inside of the body as we can. Back and forth, opening and closing. And you know, we want to have a mind to put this hip movement into our step. As we're walking around, as the heel comes down through our step, aim to close the hip at the same time as we're shifting to that heel. And just side to side, closing into one side, opening back up, closing into the other side. And then back and forth, one's closing, one's opening. Or any way, you know, ideally we want to work the hips, you know, so they're flexible and that we have a free, full range of motion in any direction, forwards, backwards, up, down, left, right, wherever, as well as independent, one hip doing one motion and the other hip doing something else if we need to as well. The hips are always there for you. Standing, sitting, lying down. All right, after a good amount of just shifting from the hips, bring the feet shoulder widths apart once more. I'll step back some again for this next one. So we can see the feet. And with the feet about shoulder widths apart, we'll work the ankles forwards and backwards to the edge of the balance. Approach the edge in front. Edge of the balance behind us. They just started mowing over there next door, so I hope we can't hear it too much. Now we just want to approach the edge, do what we can to keep the feet attached to the floor. Aim to feel this sinking feeling down across the whole bottom of the foot. Feel the toes underneath us. And move at a slow and controlled pace. I'll give you a little bit from the side real quick. Forwards to the edge and backwards. I'm on a little slight bit of a hill here in my backyard, so it may look kind of funny. After a few times settle on down, back to the centered state, and we'll work the ankles the same thing, side to side, approach the edge of the balance. And now this is different than the hips. We're working from the bottoms of the feet now and moving the whole body from the ankles and foot. We're not aiming to shift the weight from leg to leg yet. we'll do that one here in a few. But for now, find the edge of the foot on both feet as far as we can without any part of the foot coming up. Find again that position where we can acutely feel the sinking down into the ground beneath the feet. Take a few times, settle back, shorter and shorter until we're again to that centered state. Take a moment, catch our breath if we need to, and we'll go around anyway. Find the bottoms of the foot, the toes, the edge, the sides, the angles. Once more, we want to only as far as we can to the edge of the foot without letting any part of the foot come up is ideal. Find that position where we're feeling the body respond underneath and the feet flex to feel like we're gripping down into the ground to stay upright. Work that balance system. Find that position where we can become aware of the sinking down into the ground beneath the feet and try to move in a way that we're able to maintain that quality throughout our range of motion. Take a few times from here. Settle on down. Back to the centered state. Well, here we are. We're going to practice balancing on one leg next. Find the hip underneath us on the right if we got it. Close into it, just like before. If not, we can still sit down into the heel, glide forwards on the ankle as we were just a moment ago. Imagine about to take a step with the left foot. Find the heel coming up here on the left. Flex the ankle to lift the foot. Find the teeter-tottering position. The more we're lifting, the more we're sinking down the support leg. And if we want more, we can drive up the knee right up the middle. Yeah, set it on down. Other side, find the hip. Sit down into it, glide forwards as we would about to step. Flex the ankle to lift the foot. Drive them up from the knee. If we want more, the more we lift up, the more it drives down into the support leg. And after a good amount, we can set them on down. We'll do one more on each side. Close into the hips, sit down, glide forwards, all that we did before. Come on up if you got it. Up from the knee. And if you want even more resistance, from here we can dip down the support leg gently. Just make sure we're dipping only halfway or so. And you know what, this is for all the new players out there tuning in. Let's have a little dip halfway or so. And come on up before we hit that point of no return. Set them on down. Other side. Find the support leg underneath us. Come on up. And if we want to put a little more in, let's dip. And this one goes to all the new players, the new subscribers out there tuning in right now. Dip down halfway or so. And the mosquito on the face. And come on up before we hit that point of no return. All right, set them down when we've had enough. All right, here next, now that we're getting warmed up, I'm going to lead us through a standing stretching exercise referred to as silk pulling. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate it. Full videos available on Patreon. Don't forget to subscribe and like and hit that bell. We'll catch you next time.